heading. Selected.
Alright, so I'm doing a screen recording instead of an actual
Screen
video
recording.
for this because
Selected.
I have got
Photos.
ran into a couple of pets in game, and I
Zero,
might want to go
07
through
button. Select
with
hearing
the
devices button.
Infinite Arena.
Double tap and hold to show. Action log words. Speaking rate. Speak 99, 80, 75%, 70%. South. Action log heading.
Now you guys can hear me better. Alright, so this is going to be a video ranking
South,
the
button.
Lost Island pets.
Action log heading.
So I'm going to have basically ranking them from weakest to most reliable and to most overpowered.
Action log heading.
In the weakest, we have the Plague Rat. Sure, it can be good if you build it the right way, but it takes way too much effort, and you're ultimately going to get a better pet,
Action log.
no matter
South east. South. Action log.
which pet you get later on of the in the jungle, whether it's the
South. Action log.
Soothing Sprout or the Rage Sprout. Or a unlock, but we're not going to go over the unlocks in this video. They're going to go in their own video. And also game-beating pets.
South. Action log.
Basically, pets that only appear when you beat the game will be covered. And to my knowledge, there's only one that's at the beginning, and it's really good to have in your collection. I've never gotten
South.
it.
Action log.
But, or no, I've gotten it a couple times, and it actually is pretty overpowered. I actually could bring it all throughout the whole game
South.
if
Action
I
log.
wanted, if it wasn't for another unlocked pet that you get in the jungle. Along with the parrot hatchling is also
South. Action
a
log.
better one, because you can basically sing at the enemy, which makes them have fizzle chance, and I believe it lowers their strength. Yeah, it lowers their strength,
Action log. South east. South. Action log.
as well as take their strongest stat and buff you with it. It's a very useful pet, and its unlocked version is not better in my opinion. It's better damage-wise, but effect-wise, it's not as overpowered.
South. Action log.
However, you do have a decision on what you want to do, whether you want to lower their agility or lower their fizzle. And to lower their fizzle is kind of useful in some cases, but most enemies seem to break through it.
South. Action log.
Like the stupidly annoying infectious sap. Also, I wish we could get that pet at the end game
South.
after
Action
beating
log.
it, because
South. Action log.
that enemy is hard to beat, and if we could use it on our team, I wonder how powerful it would be.
South. Action log.
Then, another most weakest pet, and basically I go off of strength and
South. Action.
energy
South.
usage. And the next one up is all the scorpions, except for maybe the all the scorpions. They all deal high amounts of damage, sure, but there are a lot of
Action. South.
pets
button.
that you can
Shield and
get
void is due
that
south.
actually outrank them
East. South. Action log.
with damage, such as the dragons, which are unlockable, except for one, and I'll cover the one that's not unlockable. And the ghast.
South. Action. South.
And so now,
East. South. Action log.
with that in mind, I don't really like the scorpions, and their energy gets used up so quickly.
Action log. South. Action. Action. South. East. Action log.
I've ran poison builds, but I still refuse to use them because of that aspect. Because I want to be able to take out my enemies, and just
South. Action log.
using a pet with better damage just helps you out in the end. So all of the scorpions, including the magma scorpion, are going in basically the useless tier. For me, other people might enjoy them because
South. Action log.
The Ivory Scorpion and the Shadow Scorpion help with poison damage, and you could run a good poison build with those.
South. Action log.
But honestly, with poison characters,
South. Button.
it's best to use an HP recovery, high HP, high damage dealing build.
Action. South.
So that way you can fully take out your enemies. The Ancient Archer is good for that.
East. South. Action. Action log. South.
A lot of people don't really give the Ancient Archer enough credit. It's really good
East. South. Action log.
for a poison build because of a skill you can get, which increases your HP for every point of every 2 resistance.
South. Action log.
In like every resistance. So it includes fire, shadow, earth, and water.
Action log. South. Button.
If you have these Thorn Skin skill along with one of the
East. South. Action log.
special elemental shadow resistance skills along with all the fire resistance here, you can boost your HP by 100
South. Action log.
and 60, I believe, and that is really useful. Along with Poison Core,
South. Action log.
which adds poison damage for every point of earth damage you have.
South. Button.
And you can actually keep a pretty decent amount of poison damage added to your character. I mean,
Action. South.
earth damage
Button.
on your
Shimmering void is to
character
the south. Action log.
if you build it the right way. But anyway, we're done talking about these stupidly useless.
South. Action log.
I will never use scorpions. And now we're going on to the more useful tier. I've basically already gone over like the first one, the parrot. But the next one is going to be
Action log. South.
the
Button.
Rage Sprout. The Rage Sprout is pretty useful with its basically overpowered high damage spell, along with its debuff that can weaken the opponent's resistance against it,
East. South. Action log.
so you get more of a chance to unleash it. It's pretty powerful,
Action. South. Button.
and I count it as the better of all the pets. All of them, unless you're playing an archer.
Action log. South.
If you're
Button.
playing an archer, one of the unlocked pets could be better because you give it more stamina and stuff than that one.
Action. South. East. Action log.
And then the next one
South. Button.
is more of an end game one of the Shadow Sapling. The Shadow Sapling, if you're running a
Action. South.
Water Elementalist, and I am saying only this type because this type can really get the
Action.
most
South. Action log.
use from it. It boosts your HP recovery, so you could have a high amount of HP recovery after that. Although,
South. Action
to
log.
be honest, I would rather pick the I would replace it with the Soothing Sprout. So if you get the if you have the Soothing Sprout, I would keep it on there
South. Action log.
because you increase your HP, which can help you out in the long run. But
South. East. South. Action log.
if you want more HP recovery instead of high HP, I like the Shadow Sapling.
South. Button.
I always attempt to use it every time I get it or leave it in the background because ultimately I replace it in the end. So at this point I stopped using
Action
it.
log. Action log. South.
But when I did start using it, it was pretty useful.
Action log. South.
Oh
Button.
yeah, another useless
Shimmering
pet
void is to
is
the
the
south.
Emerald Sapling. Unless you're running a really good blocking build, it'll be useful for that. But otherwise, it sucks. Its damage sucks. It runs out of energy quickly, and overall,
Action log. South.
too many good options overrank it. Anyway, now we go on to the more overpowered setup. And our first one on this list is
East. Action slash.
the... So I'm going from like weak like the least strongest to the strongest, and the first one on this list
West.
is the goo. The goo is really useful. It unleashes high amounts of damage, even though it has a low energy, and it ends up
North.
being the enemy of my archer at one point. It is good for high damage dealing, and
Menu.
if you're
Button.
running
Menu.
a fire damage
Advanced
build
stats. Heading.
with the Draco,
Menu.
and most
Pairs. Menu. Button.
characters
Heading.
can pull it
Menu.
off,
Button. Menu.
it can
Pair.
work
Inventory.
well.
Button. Pairs. Pairs. Button.
I believe this
Zero.
character has it.
Parrot hat. Saf. Rage. Shadow. Magmus. Haunt. Button. 0. Button.
Dang it, I don't have that. Anyway,
Haunt. Exit menu. Button. Exit
in
menu.
this character. I
Infinity
think the
Void.
other one has it. But anyway,
Action log. Heading.
it has a hit all spell. And it also has a pretty good damage dealing singular spell that honestly I believe outranks its
Movement.
hit all.
EXP.
Honestly, I hate a lot of the AoE skills in Lost Island and all the other Adventure to Fate
Movement.
games,
EXP.
except for maybe the plague one that you can get with the zombie class. I want that class back really badly.
Movement. North. Button.
I'm currently trying to unlock it again. Last time I cheated and bought the purchases. This time I'm actually gonna making a video.
West. North. Button. Movement.
I'm doing.
North. West.
Anyway, now the next really good one is the dragon that is.
North. Movement.
Not really an
Heading.
unlock.
North. West. Action slash search.
Part of me wants to count it as an unlock because
Level. Kills. Level. Button. Kill. Living. Mute. Not. Pest. Mute. Toxics. Vials. Toxic. 65. Vials. Hoda. Poison Slut. Roach Hatchling. 60. Sapphire. Slimy Crab. Toxic. Cave. Exat. Elder. Enchanted. Giant. Grotesque. Parrot. Putrid. Sewers. Sunk. Buccaneer. Captain. Crazed Book. Drowned. Enslaved. Fury. Red Bear. Salt. Spike. Toxic. Fruit Bat. Giant. Injured. Noxious. Ruby. Sewer Mutant. Sovereign. Vibrant. Cavern. Goblin. Slime. Sludge. Vicious. Flame. Jungle. Sewer. Snake. Sunk. Wander. Bandit. Beggar. Goblin. Jade. Rogue Archer. Scarlet Witch. Sickly Rat. Vile Widow. Azul Cobra. Bandits. Tus. Button.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning.
Kill. Name. Coral. Dechanted. Infern. Island. Livings. Mutant. Noxious. Pest. Pneuma. Rhetor. Sewage. Sewers. Sludge. Sluggish. Tainted. Tempest. Toxic Sludger. Tempest Dragon. Level. Tempest Dragon.
The Tempest Dragon.
1. Head. The dragon is covered in large boulders growing as scales. He lets out a tremendous roar that shakes the whole island. Attacks 2 STR 12, Int 12, Agi 12, Wiz 7, Power, Earth 4, Fire 0, Water 0, Shadow 4, Resist, Earth 0, Fire 0, Water 0, Shadow, Skills, Heading.
So here are its skills.
Horrify, Earth Shatter, Horrify, Button.
Horrify.
Horrify description, a debuffing skill that lowers enemy strength by 10 and wisdom by 10.
Already it outranks one of the parrots.
Done, Button.
With 10 strength taken away from your enemy.
Earth Shatter, Feet, Loot, Unknown, the dragon, Skills, Heading, Horrify, Button, Earth Shatter, Button. Chance to
And
lose 5%.
their wisdom. If you're running a spellcaster, that means you can let off more spells.
Earth Shatter description, a stomping attack that damages all enemies with a 20% chance to stun. Skill formula 1 to 1.2 star, plus LVL star 2 plus S. Done. Button. Done.
It can deal hundreds of damage to the
dragon is covered
AoE
in large
skill it
boulders.
has.
Feed, loot, hit, feast. Button.
And feast, if you have an enemy that's really low, that you manage to take down really low enough for this to kill, during your turn.
Feast description, a damaging attack that restores 50 energy and 1 stamina if a killing blow is dealt. Includes 25% extra fire damage and shadow damage. Done. Button. The dragon
You
is covered in
basically make it, recover
add
its
monster.
uses.
Button.
I would say this is probably the most overpowered out of the two. But out of the three, yeah, it's still more overpowered.
The dragon.
But it's the Tempest Dragon. It's a hard one to get unless you beat the witch, unless you get all the stuff unlocked on the witch, which I am in the process of doing so I can get it.
Add monster. One by exit. Button. Infinity Void. Heading.
Why did I do that? The final one in this list is going to be
Northwest. Action
the
slash search. East. Action slash search.
Ghast, and I have not ran into this yet in game.
Top. K. Eggs. L. In. J. Grow. Pa. Pu. Cat. Crack. Ins. Top. Fruit. Jar. Inj. Knob. Ruby. Su. So. Bite. Cat. Gob. Sludge. Bam. Vish. Junk. Su. Sn. Wonder. Band. Beg. Gob. Jade. Cob. Rope. Scar. Sick. Vile. As. Bandit. Culled. Dun. Fierce. Ill. Play. Shit. Rat. Slut. Asap. Behold. Cob. Gob. Middle. Pack. Shat. Spirit. Boat. Faded. Gassed.
Making a video.
Gassed. Level. A transparent spirit with incredible magical abilities and intelligence. Party members' intelligence is boosted during battle. Attacks 2 STR6. Skills. Flare. Button. Chance to use 15%.
Flare, a damaging skill.
Transfer life. Button. Chance to use
Transfer
65%.
life. Basically it's a healing spell.
Confundus. Button. Chance to
Confungus,
use
which is
17%.
a confused spell.
Loot. Heading.
And if you're running the
Confundus.
archer,
Exit. Button.
this is the most
Infinity Void.
wonderful
Heading.
pet for you
This is your current floor.
because you can increase its stamina, so it can hit for 3 hits, I believe. Yeah, 3. So it'll be a lot more stronger.
Shimmering
And its basic attack is also pretty powerful. I would rank it as the #1 most powerful one because of that confused spell. Of course, I could go over the other pet that you can get in the graveyard, but I don't like it. And
Menu.
there's no reason to mention it because
Infinity Void. Menu.
it ruins. It's not really a useful pet. It's horrible. It's really bad. I don't like it, but I guess I have to cover it for this video. Probably should have covered it a while because I basically rank it with the shipwreck, and it is the haunt, and we all know what the haunt
Menu. Button.
is like in a build if you use it.
Menu. Invent crafts. Button. Inventory. Pets. Button.
Let's see
Pets.
your haunt. What have you done for me?
EX. Haunt stats. Level. Shadow guard. Haunt. Button. Life spark. Button. Equip skill slot.
A healing spell,
Haunt. Button.
a lowering
Equip skill
stat
slot.
debuff,
Shadow guard. Button.
and a buff.
Shadow guard. Shadow guard description. A buffing spell that raises shadow resist by 8. Type. Stam course. Done. Button.
And I guess it's kind of useful for the shadow resistance, but really, the final boss really focuses on more physical skills, so that's just not useful that much. It can weaken the damage that you take, but it'll still be a high amount of damage you take in the end game. And
Current pet.
I honestly would only take this pet for its healing spell. That's the only hope you have with it. The unlocked pet is so much better than this one. I will make a video specifically on that one after I go over the unlocked pets.
Attack.
But yeah, that is my ranking list of the pets in Lost Island. Because all the rest are counted as
skill
unlocked.
slot.
They'll go in the
Ghastly
second
intellect.
video. Make sure to comment your
Ghastly
thoughts, and if you want, tell me what you think certain pets are useful for. Because honestly, the builds I use, they're not used for that, but others might find better uses, and I'm willing to hear them.
Ghastly.
Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.